Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to read Wake Up Groundhog by Susan Corman, illustrated by Eugene Fernandez. It was Groundhog Day in Hamlet Woods, but lazy Gregory Groundhog did not want to get up. My burrow is so warm and cozy, he thought to himself. I will just rest a little while longer. Then, oops, I'll get up. Soon Gregory Groundhog was sound asleep again. Knock, knock, knock! A loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, called Sally Skunk. Are you up yet? Sally waited a moment for a reply. I was wondering, she continued, if you could tell me if spring will soon be here. I'm sure I don't know, Sally, Gregory replied, yawning. I'm still very tired. Please go away and let me sleep a little bit more. I'll get up soon. All right, Sally said softly. Thank you very much. Sally Skunk was always very polite. She scampered off. Gregory pulled the warm covers over his head. Soon he had drifted back into a deep slumber. Thump, thump, thump. Another loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, called Philip Frog, are you ready to come out yet? I'm very eager to learn if spring will be coming soon. Philip's deep voice boomed loudly. I'm too tired to get up right now, Philip, Gregory said in a sleepy voice. Please let me rest for a few more minutes, then I'll get out of bed. So Philip Frog hopped up the hill. Gregory rolled over. Before long, he was snoring away. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Another noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, Rosie Raccoon whispered shyly. I'm so sorry to wake you, but please go away, Rosie, Gregory grumbled. I want you to find out if it's spring, if it's coming, but I'm just not ready to leave my cozy burrow yet. Rosie Raccoon scurried off. Gregory fluffed up his pillow and put his head down again. Caw, caw, caw! A very loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, Charlie Crow called in his rackety voice. Are you ready to wake up and tell me if spring is right around the corner? No, Charlie, Gregory said, feeling very grumpy. He pulled his pillow over his ears. I am not ready to get up yet, he told Charlie. Now will you please be quiet while I take a short nap? Well, Charlie Crow said, giving another hoarse, rather rude caw, and with a loud flap of his wings he flew off to the top of the hill. Honk, honk, honk! A very, very loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, Silly Goose called. He pulled open the door and poked his head into Gregory's burrow. Oh, dear, he said. I hope you're still not sleeping. By now, Gregory Groundhog was very grumpy. Yes, Silly Goose, he growled. I am still sleeping. You are, Silly Goose said in surprise. But, Gregory, it sounds like you're wide awake. Oh, never mind, Silly Goose, Gregory groaned. Please just leave me alone. I will get up soon, but not until I am good and ready. So Silly Goose waddled away up the hill. Gregory Groundhog lay down again. He tried to go back to sleep, but it was no use. Gregory tossed and turned, and he tossed and he turned, until he finally decided it was indeed time to get up. Gregory Groundhog climbed out of bed, yawned one last time, and crawled out of his burrow. Outside, the sun shone brightly in the blue sky. Gregory's friends were waiting for him at the top of the hill. As he reached the crest, they all rushed over. Is it time now? Gregory Groundhog. Charlie Crow called. Can you tell us if spring will be here soon? Yes, Gregory said, smiling. Now that he was wide awake, he didn't feel so grumpy. Gregory looked down. There on the ground was his shadow. Oh, well, said Philip Frog, sighing. I guess spring won't be coming to Hamlet Woods after all. Yes, Sally Skunk nodded sadly. When Gregory Groundhog sees his shadow, it means there will be 6 more weeks of winter. Silly Goose shivered. Did you say 6 more weeks of winter? He asked. Yes, Silly Goose, Gregory said. There will be 6 more weeks of cold and snowy weather. Well, in that case, goodbye, said Silly Goose, and with a flap of his wings he started for the path that led down the hill. A moment later, the rest of Gregory's friends hurried after Silly Goose. Where are you going? Gregory called out in surprise. Philip Frog stopped, turned around. Now that we know spring isn't coming, we're all going home to take a little nap, he explained. A little nap? Gregory replied. After waking me up, my friends are going home to take a nap? And Gregory watched his friends hurry home, and then an idea popped into his head. Gregory Groundhog waited until all his friends were tucked snugly into their warm, cozy beds, and then he woke them up. I hope you enjoyed my story. Thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't.